Alright, so today we're going to be doing some screening. As you can see, we've tried to patch up most of the damaged areas with some tape, but it's time to just redo the whole screen. So with these, this screen is sealed in with rubber instead of it being attached to wooden 2x4s, so it's a lot easier to do a replacement. So we're going to go ahead and just take out the gasket and remove the screening and cut the sides and replace. So let's get started. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start removing the gasket. You can use any kind of sharp tool. Right now we're just using a scribe just because it has a sharp point on the end, just to get in there and just get attached to one end and just pull it down to pull out the whole seam. As you can see, this is relatively easy. And once you get all these gaskets out, the screen will just fall right out of place. So we're going to go ahead and remove every single one now. We're not holding on to these. We're going to replace them with brand new, so we're just going to throw these in the trash. I've already removed the other two sides. Of course, before you do removal, make sure you got an accurate measurement of the length that you need and the size so that you get an accurate replacement. So go ahead. Alright, so we went ahead and measured the rollout. We kind of just gave us 3 inches on each side to have a little bit of room to, get it fit perfectly. So we're just going to leave a little bit of excess, cut as best as we can, as straight as possible, and whatever's left over, we're going to cut the sides to fit perfectly in the screen. So we'll go ahead and do the cutting. Alright, so we went ahead and did the other sides. You're probably going to need at least 2 people to get this screen in place. But once you get it out on the outsides and put the rubber gasket in each seam, just try to keep it as tight as possible and just run it through the edge there. We got a little tool to press it in. You may not be able to do it just by your fingers, but we got a little rolling tool just to press that seam in. Just take your time. If you get any wrinkles, you can always come back out. A lot of pressure on it. And you can leave the excess and just cut that off and trim it to fit. Alright, so we got all the rubber gaskets in and got them sealed in and cut off the excess. Now we just want to carefully take a knife, utility knife, X-Acto, whatever you have, and just slowly rub up against the rubber and cut the excess off. As you can see, we've already got a little bit off now, but just run it all the way down the side. Try not to get any of the netting. Just run it flat across the surface. Just peels away. This will get rid of any excess you have left over. Remember, just be very careful. See that the only point of contact is on this edge. All the other sharp edges are out in the air, away from the surface of the netting. Okay, that's one side done. Just cut this off. Alright, so we went ahead and cut off the excess. It's perfectly in seam, no wrinkles. Looks a lot better than what it did originally. It's like night and day. You can tell the one on top here is still old. It's faded, still has plenty of holes, but we're going to go ahead and start on the next section and get that replaced as well. Alright, so we got about 142 inches here across, but like before, we're going to give ourselves an extra 6. So 148, give us some extra to cut off so it can be perfect. Goodbye. This one's seen better days. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and cut the next piece across the bottom of the screen. And just cut it off. Like I said, we got a measurement of 148 inches, since accounting 3 inches on each side for excess. So, doesn't have to be perfectly straight, just going to get a guesstimate and cut the rest. Alright, so we're finally done. We got all the new screen in. Cut off all the edging to make it clean, and looks a lot better than the old one. Went with black sheeting this time instead of the old gray. Actually makes it look a lot cleaner and darker this time around. So as you can see, we got the other side too. We got the 2 panels here, one on top of the door frame, and then 2 panels on the other side. And didn't take too long, just hard parts dealing with any kind of inclines and your ladder and all that, but got it in there. All that's left is just to get on to the next project. Now that we're finally done, all that's left is to enjoy the view and tuck into some nice good old watermelon. Thanks for watching.